ICE's Mortgage Monitor report for August 2025 came out last week, and it's really something that every real estate and mortgage professional should at least give a cursory glance at. It is full. This report is full of 22 pages of great data, probably 150 data points, maybe 20 charts. You can use these data points and charts in your lunch and learns and your buyer consultations and your one-on-ones, maybe in your sales meetings, in your social media. I really recommend it. I'm just going to pick out a handful that jumped out at me, but I invite you to look at the report. I will put a link to get access to the report. You actually get, the link will take you to a press release. You got to click through the press release to get the full report, but it's well worth getting. So here's a few things. If you're a lender, you particularly care about rate spreads. So rate spreads, the spread between the 10-year Treasury and 30-year mortgages, it had narrowed to as little as 241 basis points in July, but then it widened back out a little bit in August. So they spread just a little bit, it narrowed in June, spread back out a little bit in August. For origination activity, Q2 this year was the strongest lending quarter since 2022. And it's really led by purchases, but what really bumped up was cash out refinances, which also hit their highest level in over 3 years, which is great. And so cash out made up 60% of all the refinances were done in Q2. And then rate and terms are somewhat lagging right now and are a little bit of a drag on the market. But to that end, at the start of August, 1.6 million borrowers were in the money for a rate and term refinance. And that's defined as somebody that's able to cut their interest rate by at least 75 basis points. And then after the jobs numbers came out, that raised up to 2 million homeowners in the money. And if rates were to dip down to 6.8%, as many as almost 5 million homeowners could benefit from a refinance. So if you have people in your database that you're managing their mortgage, get them locked and loaded now, because I think we're gonna temporarily dip into that 1.1 1/8 or 6 1/8, 6 1/4. I personally don't think we're gonna stay there long. So get locked and loaded. Make sure you have a strike rate that you've agreed to lock automatically, so that in case rates bounce back up, you don't lose the opportunity for those. Somewhat interesting, talking about servicing and retention. The retention rate for servicers dropped a couple of percentage points down to 23% in Q2. And that covers all servicers. And the Mortgage Monitor report really did a good job detailing what's going on with servicing. And it said, look, servicers win in the rate and term environment. And when rates are significantly better, the servicers significantly win. But if the refinances are being done for something other than a really easy rate and term, easily identifiable rate and term, I should say. So when a homeowner needs to do a cash out, or they're motivated for something which a servicer can't see by simply looking at the data, then servicers don't necessarily own that relationship. But the servicers, by the way, that can link the refinance to the POS or LOS system, so it becomes really easy where they can retrieve all the borrower's information. They can make a clear offer that makes sense. The servicer clearly wins in that environment. So that was really interesting data. That's later in the report, last quarter of the report. So make sure you read through it. There was a section on inventory. Inventory has jumped 32% year over year at the beginning of the year. But then last month we saw inventory start to fall, with more than a third of major markets seeing inventory drops, including inventory fell by 27% in Denver, 20% in San Francisco, 20% in San Jose, 14% in Seattle, as homeowners just delisted their properties. If what's happening is, if homeowners can't get their price, they're just taking their properties off the market or choosing not to list their properties. The last part that I thought that was pretty interesting in this report, and like I said, I'm just getting it down just a few data points. It's really worth reading. Is that homeowners' equity continues to grow. It peaked now in Q2 at $17.8 trillion in total equity. That also translates to $11.6 trillion in tappable equity. And if you were to spread that across all houses, that averages about $213,000 per mortgage holder. We did see LTV, outstanding LTVs tick up to 44.8% from 44.1%. And the other thing, the last interesting point that I would share on this is that there's now over 500,000 homeowners with a negative equity position or underwater. And that's up from only 320 from the year before, 320,000. So it's nearly doubled at 564,000. But 564,000, those people that bought in the last year and then saw home prices softening, or bought in the last year or 2 years, depending on the market, saw home prices softening, are now underwater and under some distress. But that's some of the data in the Mortgage Monitor report. Here's what I'll just give you a quick picture of what it looks like. Here's what it looks like. It's certainly worth a read. As you can see, it's 22 pages. I'm not going to go through this other than just give you kind of a visual of the data. Lots of charts and graphs, lots of data that you can use. This is the top one here, is the one on the spread between 10-year and 30-year. But you get the sense of what it's all about. I did a LinkedIn post on this earlier today. I put quite a few bullet points that hopefully will be helpful. Like I said, you can use this information not only with your buyer consultations, you can use it if you're doing home buyer seminars, you can do it on your social media, you can use it on one-on-ones with your potential referral partners. It's a lot of really good data. If you get a chance, check out my LinkedIn. I will put a link to the press release, which will give you access to the report, in my notes below. I hope you're off to a great start of the week, and I really appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time. Thanks so much.